All right, so today we have a winner of the SSF e-bike promo. James from My Mercedes place in Georgia won this really cool Bulls mountain bike.
Congratulations!
Let's get it unboxed and check it out. All right, James, so we have got your bike built. Now it's time to go over features and benefits of the Bulls Copperhead Evo AM1. So what we'll do is we'll start from the front and just move our way to the back. It has Shimano hydraulic disc brakes, a real nice brake, master cylinder and caliper setup. It does have tubeless ready rims. The tubeless ready rim width is 30C. So if you do want to go tubeless, you're going to buy 30 millimeter tubeless rim tape. That's what that means. And then this has the Litro 34 front shock. So you can lock out the shock by going to lock. You can open the valve to unlock it and cycle the suspension. Okay, that's what that's for. So if you're riding on the road, you want to lock it. If you're riding in the off-road, you want to open it. Over here on the left, this is how you add, this is an air front spring cartridge. So this is just a standard Schrader valve right here. And what you're going to do is when you sit on the bike, and this is all according to rider weight, when you sit on the bike, you want to stand up against a wall and hold yourself up. You want to sit on the bike, and you want the suspension to cycle 25%, and that sets the sag. That's how you set the sag. To make it go down further or not go down as much, you take away and you add air pressure from this Schrader valve right here. Okay? A good rule of thumb to start with is whatever you weigh, you're gonna put that in and use it as a PSI. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you're going to put 150 PSI in to start in the front and in the rear, 150. Then you're going to cycle the suspension. If you've moved the suspension 25% of travel, you're in the right area. If you didn't move it enough, you're going to take some air out. If you moved it too much, you're going to add a little bit of air. You are going to need a special suspension type compressor. You can buy a little hand pump. They're like anywhere from $20 to $100 on Amazon. But you'll need to do one of those to dial it in. You'll need to do that on the front and also on the rear. Here's the Schrader valve for the rear. You just unscrew it right here. Use the same thing. You do need a suspension pump. Okay, moving on back here. We have all of our controls are all set up really nice with these ties. So this has the Bosch Purion display. Right now the bicycle's off. When we add 1 plus, it goes to Eco. Eco gives 60% power. So what it's doing is it's taking the amount of effort that you're putting into the crankshaft and it's adding 60% to it. Okay, this is how the e-bike works on the Bosch motor. When you go to the Tour, it goes to 140% power. When you go to EMTB, this is a really cool setting. EMTB will give you between 140 and 340% power, depending on how hard you push into the crank. Okay, so if you want full 340% all the time, you just push turbo, and it'll multiply your crankshaft effort by 340%. Very intuitive. It works very, very fast. So as soon as you start pedaling in, it starts pedaling in probably within the first, I don't know, inch or 2 inches of stroke, of pedal stroke. That is the best in the market. That's what these motors are known for. This bike does come with a dropper seat post. So when you're going downhill, you want the seat out of the way. You push this button and you sit down on it and it pushes the seat down. When you want to get back into the saddle or sit down, you push that button, the seat pops back up, and you're ready to go. Just kind of like a chair in your office that hydraulic chair, very same exact setup. Over on the right, you have the rear brake, Shimano hydraulic disc, and the shifter is a Shimano DIOR shifter. There's no front derailleur. So there's only one speed on the front. So that would normally be a left shifted front derailleur. There's no front derailleur, so you don't have to worry about that. You only have a rear derailleur. So if you want a taller gear in the back, you're just going to use the larger, lower shifter. And then when you want a shorter gear in the back, you're going to use the smaller. Now the cool thing about this one, this shifter, you can shift by pushing it that way. You could also shift underneath by pushing it that way. Okay, and they both will shift the shifter down. Okay, so depending on the positioning of wherever your hand is, you could click it forward or backward, and this will only bring the derailleur down the cassette. To bring the derailleur back up the cassette, you're gonna push with this one right here. We are here at the charger port now. This is where you're gonna plug your Bosch charger port in. It's gonna come with a charger. Open the box, plug the charger right into there, starts charging. It will tell you over here, it'll start blinking the lights on the battery that it is charging. We're going to ship this bike with this percentage of battery. We can't ship it with more than this percentage of battery because it's illegal. So they got to be at 20%, or else we would fully charge this battery. This also right here is where the key is to unlock the battery out of this. So I'm going to show you how to take that battery out right now. So we're going to remove this cover. This is just a protective cover. No problem, that comes right out. We're going to get our key. This comes with two keys. We're going to put the key right in here. We're going to turn the key. The battery is going to come out right here. There's a secondary catch right here, a little plastic finger. I'm going to push with my finger, and the entire battery mechanism comes out. This is their in-tube, power tube battery. It's a 625. This is Bosch's largest battery. It's a pretty big battery, very nicely set up. You can also charge the same, if you notice, this is the same exact port as there is on the side over here, so you can charge this battery on or off the bike, it doesn't matter. If you don't want to, you never have to take this battery off of the bike. So we are going to reinstall this, and to reinstall it, you have to get that little aluminum lock out of the way, so you gotta turn the key, okay, and then that is reinstalled. Perfect. After you take the battery out, this button doesn't work. What you got to do, there's a secondary button. You got to push that button. It's like a power button. It tells this unit up here that the battery is reconnected. So now you can turn this bike on and off from the button up here at the top. From there, we're going to reinstall this plastic cover. Goes in the top first. Back here we have the Suntour rear fork, so you can open and close it for on-road and off-road. This O-ring is what you can use as a measuring tool to set your 25% sag. That's why they have that in there, right? So then when you sit down on it, you put some weight on there, it moves the O-ring down, you can come back off, see how far the O-ring moved down. If you moved it 25%, your air pressure is correct and your sag is set correctly. You do have an adjustable seat post. Be very careful when you do adjust the seat. If you move this seat adjuster up and down too high, the bottom of the dropper post is connected to this cable, right? So you can open and close the valve. So you just gotta be real careful when you bring the seat up and down, because the dropper seat post just gets in the way, essentially. You do have the Shimano DIOR derailleur, and also the Shimano hydraulic disc rear brake. This is also a tubeless ready rear rim. So you're gonna look on here, it will tell you basically the size of tape. Yeah, so it's the rim size is a 584 by 30C. The inner rim width is 30C. So that's gonna be 30 millimeter rim tape, essentially. We're gonna get this bike QC ridden now and ship it to Georgia. right, so we have got this Bulls bike repackaged. It's ridden, it's QC'd, it's checked, the brake pads are seated in. You're gonna remove the bike, take all the packaging off of it. The first thing you're gonna do is install the front wheel. Before you do that, you pull the little red brake pad stopper out of the caliper. Little plastic thing, it's about that big, throw that away. Install the wheel, get your disc aligned, put the through axle through. Then you're gonna straighten the handlebars with those 2 bolts. You're gonna tighten them to 8 Newton meters. You're gonna install the pedals. The pedals only go on one way. Don't try too hard. Don't try to put the left-hand thread into the right-hand thread and vice versa. They just spin in real nice and easy. They're already pre-greased. Get those nice and tight. From there, you're gonna set your sag to your weight. We talked about that earlier. The tires are Presta valves, so you wanna make sure you have an air pump that does Presta. You're gonna wanna charge the battery fully before you ride it. So make sure you get the small Bosch box out of the corner there, charge the battery. This thing's ready to rock. So have fun with this, James.